This urban legend is, I would like to send you a theory that the Earth is part of multidimensional space. The hypothesis that the Earth is actually part of multidimensional space. Physics. Very interesting subject in philosophy and in cosmology. Although the reality we experience is perceived to be in three-dimensional space, theories in recent physics, notably in supermeta theory and quantum gravity, the concept of multidimensional space plays an important role. This idea, which makes us reconsider the nature of our universe and existence, its concrete background, theoretical foundations, philosophical arguments. And let's take a look at the criticisms and objections to this hypothesis together. A. Core ideas of multidimensional space. Multidimensional space is, in addition to the three-dimensional space we normally experience, it's the idea that there are more dimensions. In physics, dimensions are spatial expansions and indicates the position of an existing entity. Our usual perception of space is, it consists of three dimensions of length, width, and height. Add time to this, it will be four-dimensional space-time, but in physics in recent years, it has been suggested that higher dimensional space may exist. For example, in transfinite theory, the universe is said to consist of 10 or 11 dimensions. These higher dimensions are forms that are not perceptible to our senses. It exists, it is believed to exist. Supermeta theory and the multidimensional universe. The supermeta theory is theory dealing with the fundamental constituents of matter as causes. It aims to provide a unified explanation of particle physics and gravity. Its innovative aspect is, the idea is that a string vibrates to create different particles. This cause not only exists along one dimension, but it can also vibrate in higher dimensional space. In transfinite theory, our universe, in addition to the usual four-dimensional space-time, it is believed to exist in a state where higher dimensions are involved. These additional dimensions are very small. Because our senses cannot perceive it, it is embedded in a three-dimensional universe, concept of surplus dimensions. In transfinite theory, redundant or compact dimensions are assumed to exist. These dimensions have a specific shape or topology. It has a different nature than the space we perceive. For example, the redundant dimension is a circle or a torus. Donut mold. If molded that way, although we live in a three-dimensional universe, it means that there is a higher dimensional space hidden in that kind. The concept of surplus dimensions is gravity and other basic, used to explain how forces act through high-dimensional space. Gravity's strength, on a Kina scale, known as a force, from its different strength compared to other fundamental forces. The existence of extra dimensions helps us understand how gravity leaks into our three-dimensional space. Earth's relation to multidimensional space. The idea that the Earth is part of multidimensional space. It provides an important perspective in understanding the structure of the universe as a whole. If our universe, including Earth, is part of multidimensional space, our reality may be nothing more than a three-dimensional projection, perception of space and time. Our senses and experiences are constrained by three-dimensional space, but if multidimensional space exists, there may be phenomena that go beyond the limits of our consciousness and awareness. For example, if we perceive time linearly, time varies in other dimensions. It is also possible that it flows in or exists non-linearly. From this point of view, may gain a new understanding of the nature of time and existence, the highest of matter and energy. It may also change the way we think about the nature of matter and energy. Substances that we know, formed by interaction in ordinary three-dimensional space, but if multidimensional space exists, next, the composition and properties of substances are different. It may be affected by the original behavior. For example, the interaction of matter in different dimensions. It is also possible to create new particles and forms of energy. 4. Philosophical perspective. The hypothesis that the Earth is part of multidimensional space leads to deep philosophical discussions. This idea, our existence and consciousness, it raises questions about the nature of the universe, nature of reality, the reality we experience, based on information obtained through senses, but if multidimensional space exists, there may be many phenomena and beings that our senses cannot capture. From this point of view, what we perceive to be reality might be just a fragment, limits of consciousness. It also raises questions about the limits of consciousness. Our perceptions are formed within a three-dimensional framework, but if multidimensional beings are real, it is considered difficult for our consciousness to comprehend it all. This raises philosophical questions about the meaning of existence and the limits of human cognition. 5. Rebuttal and criticism. The hypothesis that Earth is part of a multidimensional space, while there are many attractive aspects, faces skepticism and debate. Demonstration challenges. Multidimensional space concept, mostly theoretical framework, based on a mathematical model. It has been pointed out that it is difficult to demonstrate. In physics, it is important that theoretical hypotheses be tested by experiments and observations, but there is currently no direct evidence for multidimensional space. For this reason, it is very difficult to scientifically verify whether the hypothesis is true. Philosophical conference. Meetings can also be shown from a further philosophical point of view. The idea that multidimensional space exists is beyond the framework of our understanding of reality, and there exists a philosophical conference against this. Is it really possible to capture phenomena and beings beyond our senses and reason? This question is an important element of discussion. 6. Conclusion. The hypothesis that the Earth is actually part of multidimensional space is physical, philosophical. It's a very fascinating subject from a cosmological point of view. This idea is, via testimonial theory and surplus dimensions, it inspires the best about the nature of our universe and existence. If the Earth is part of multidimensional space, the three-dimensional reality we perceive is, the possibility arises that it is only a part of an even more complex high-dimensional universe. This idea poses a great challenge to our understanding of reality and existence. The development of physical theory and philosophy. It deepens the question. On the other hand, this hypothesis is currently difficult to directly demonstrate. There are also criticisms and refutations. However, it is undeniable that advances in science and technology may provide evidence of multidimensional space in the future. How the Earth and the universe are positioned in multidimensional space, and how its effects manifest themselves in our reality. This will be a major challenge for future scientific exploration. This hypothesis, it goes beyond mere physics and raises profound questions in a philosophical sense. Consciousness, and to understand the true nature of the universe. Considering the existence of multidimensional space, it will also be an important theme for future academics. How did you like it? Thank you for subscribing to the channel.